Hey everybody, this is Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor, and I wanted to come on real quick. I'm actually at the hospital myself. I've been at the hospital with my daughter for about a week, and my daughter has cystic fibrosis, a lung disease, and her lung function had declined some significantly, actually. And I thought what I'd do is just come on real briefly, and it's going to be a very quick post just to connect with you and let you know that if you're a parent and you have a child that's in the hospital and you're trying to figure out how to balance that, because it's a lot to deal with when you have other children that may be at home still. And in my case, I was able to stay here in the hospital with my daughter every day. I didn't leave the hospital, but that's again by choice. I obviously had people that were willing to come in and sit with my daughter and help while I took a quick break. But I decided, nope, I'm not going to do that. I would prefer to be here as much as I can so that anytime a doctor comes in or a nurse comes in, I can be her advocate. So what I wanted to just share is a quick tip for you. If you are having to deal with your child being hospitalized, go to the extreme to communicate with your family members. Come up with a plan that's going to work for everyone involved. Because like literally, if you are just like having to be rushed away to deal with an emergency situation with your child, then you need to have all of the components kind of in place. Try to get people that can come in and help with your other children, especially if you're going to be staying away. In my case, I'm married, so my husband was able to be with our other children, and my mom also came in town. And that makes a huge difference when you get the help that you need so that you can devote unlimited amount of time and energy and effort to your child. And so it made a difference for my daughter because she felt like, hey, I am here. How are you? Good, good. Yes, my husband's going to be right there waiting. Yes. Okay. And actually, right in the circle. Yes. And just leave it there. And actually, even if as I do posts like this, because I'm actually balancing real things, you'll hear me stop for a second and address an issue. And so that's what life is all about. It's no way that I could ever really do just a perfect post with no interruptions and no anything unless I'm in a bubble, because literally most of the times I'm officially balancing some of the things that I'm telling you have to be done. So being here with my daughter, give me a quick second because I need to notify my husband of something. But being here with my daughter made a huge difference to her. I did, ask her, hey, do you want me to step out for a few minutes and let someone else come in and sit? She was like, absolutely not. She doesn't want that. Most children want their parent, if possible, to, wait a minute. Yeah, most children actually want their parent, if possible, to stay in the room. But if that's not the case where you could stay in the room with your child, make sure you make arrangements to have some kind of like coverage 24 hours a day until you're able to come back and forth from your job situation, making sure that someone that you know has your child's best interest at heart is officially in this room. Now, keeping in mind that I do believe here at the hospital where my daughter has stayed that the staff is like exemplary. I've never experienced such wonderful staff anyway, because people are so over the top with trying to make sure that she's properly cared for. And I'm sure most hospitals around the country provide similar service. But again, it's your child, it's your family member, so it's your job, if at all possible, to be there to speak on that child's behalf. Let me tell you a couple of things that I recommend that you do. Always make sure that you ask questions. If you have any questions pertaining to the care for your child, that's your child. It's very important that you speak up and say, hey, these are questions that I have. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. And if someone's talking in terms that's a little bit above your head, then say, let's pipe it down and talk in layman terms so that I can understand what's happening. And people are more than willing to be accommodating so that you feel comfortable with the care that your child is being provided. So make sure that you ask questions. If it's something that you don't agree with, make sure that you say, I don't agree with that, and I would prefer that we consider another method, if at all possible. And guess what? Most of the times, the hospital staff will comply. I know in my case with my daughter, there were times in the middle of the night that she was supposed to get some medication, and we were able to just make a few minor adjustments so that she could get that good night's sleep. But it was only because I was actually opening my mouth and saying, hey, is there a possibility that we could do it at this time or at this time, or will that throw anything off? And most of the times it didn't throw anything off. If it was going to throw something off, then the medical staff said, we can't do that, Kim, because it would actually be, these are the times that we have to give this. And if we shave this time off, then it's going to cause a problem on this end. But that's where open communication about your child's well-being comes into play. So it's no book formula that I'm giving you here. I'm just telling you things that if you have a child that's staying in the hospital for an extended period of time, do everything within your power to make arrangements with your job. Make sure that you make the arrangements with your job in advance so that you can go ahead and say, this is the block of time that I need to leave to be able to cover what's happening with my child. If you can stay, then go to the extreme to stay, especially if you have other people that can help you by just stepping in and being with your additional children if you have more children at home. Making sure that you provide, still try to be a regular mom if you're in the hospital. So like here in the hospital, my daughter and I, we played Trouble. We played Connect Four. She still was writing on her book that she's writing. Do some basic things that are just your everyday things to make it feel like a normal routine for your child versus them feeling like they're completely down and out at the hospital. Here at the hospital, because she had a respiratory therapist that came and checked on her as well, she was able to gear up and ride the bike on the floor that she was on, and she rode it around like 10 times just to kind of build her lung function. She still got her breathing treatment. These are things that we do at home. So to be able to give her as much of the home experience in the hospital made her feel like she wasn't just like stuck in a hospital. So those are things to keep in mind as well. I hope that I'm helping somebody. If you have any questions ever of me as the Balance Doctor, it's my desire to help everyone by bringing balance to the world one household at a time. And I do know that it takes a lot of people to make things work perfectly, if that makes sense. And it still sometimes is still not able to be like a perfect striking of a balance, but you do the very best that you can. And so the tips that I'm giving you are tips that I love giving because I know that if I can do it, then you can as well. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can subscribe, and then that little bell right beside the actual subscription, turn that on so you can get notifications. Anytime I come on live like this, you'll get notified. You can also tell your friends, your family, your loved ones, church members that the Balance Doctor is on, and that sometimes I'll just come on real briefly just to give a quick tip. Most of the times, if I'm in the middle of a real situation, which right now I'm literally still here at the hospital, so I'm not just like talking to you and not at the hospital. I'm here officially balancing my own life. And when that's the case, it's not as staged and made up and everything, but I'm just living life. And that's what it's all about, is being able to be who you say you are. If I'm balancing my life, I want you to be able to see me balancing my life, and hope that that can help you feel more comfortable about balancing yours as well. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and thank you for allowing me to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. Take care of yourself, guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.